But it peeled off. Why? Why did that happen? Do you know?
It didn't peel off. There was vandalism. There was box cutters. There have been 7 arrests. There was people literally trying to destroy part of a monument.
And you're 100% sure that what happened with the liner was vandalism. You can prove it.
Oh yeah, absolutely can. And as we drain it, and we've got all the photographs we can see. I mean, there's no possible way.
There are photographs of a person or people cutting a 300 or 350 foot gash in the bottom of the reflecting pool?
Dana, I'm not sure why you and others in the media think that you want to keep trying to question whether or not
What specific evidence do you have to back up that claim?
Well, we have the actual cuts that were made into the industrial liner, and that's been measured out. So that's just a fact that's what we've got to go back and repair.
There's a 350-foot gash?
Well, it's multiple gashes that add up to 350 feet.
But you don't have video evidence of people making those gashes.
Well, we do have video, and we do have eyewitness reports.
Right.
The real issue that caused the peeling was rushing the seams between each day's spray job instead of properly bonding them, and they may have sprayed straight over the pool's expansion joints instead of working around them, all because the whole thing had to be done in time for Trump's July 4th photo op, which, as you can clearly see, looks more like the Chicago River on St. Patrick's Day. And now, thanks to Trump, we've got dead ducks floating in the reflecting pool because this moron treated a national monument like a weekend DIY Instagram project. Probably would have been good if the Trump administration had read the warning label on the rhino liner, which clearly says toxic for aquatic life with long-lasting effects. But that would assume they can read, something we know that Trump hates to do because, well, he can't.
We got rid of the algae, which they put in. They put in algae. Who the hell put in algae?
Science?
This guy is so far down the dementia rabbit hole that he's now blaming people in frog costumes for the algae.
Anybody that's there and anybody that was there last week before the fireworks started being installed on either side of the reflecting pool could see that the water was crystal clear. So that part's been taken care of.
That is murky, thick. I wouldn't even say forest green. I would say like nasty green. Hey, I'm not crazy. What color is this?
This is definitely green. That's insane.
It's definitely green, right?
It's definitely green. It's definitely supposed to be blue.
I think it's even darker green than the grass outside of the reflecting pool itself. Thought that they had sucked all the algae out of it or whatever, but...
Yeah, I heard about that, but it looks, I mean, there's definitely something in there. Yeah, it's pretty green.
It looks really green. I didn't think it was going to be this green.
I did. You did? It's science. There's algae blooms in a shallow pool like this in a 100-degree day. That's how it works.
The algae is all gone. I mean, that was a momentary thing as it was being refilled. There was algae in the pipes, but the new technology, the nano bubblers that have been installed, if you go down there today and look at it, it is completely clean and clear.
Take a look at the reflecting pool just a couple days after the July 4th fireworks show. It's littered with trash, debris, and ash, and guess what? It is very much still green. And now the Trump administration says they're going right back to the same people who broke it the first time, Atlantic Industrial Coatings.
How much is it going to cost to fix? And are you going to use the same company that you did in the no-bid contract, or will you open it up to new bids?
We'll use the same company because they did a fantastic job. The job that was done to fix the reflecting pool was done extremely well.
Sure, Jan.
They're also sticking with the other company that got a $1.7 million no-bid deal, ironically named Greenwater Services, owned through a trust run by Trump donor and Batman villain lookalike John Cafaro. Oh, and a quick note on this whole mess. The president and COO of Greenwater Services admitted that they've never done a pool before.
We've never done a pool, but the water's relatively the same as the water that you would see out in a regular lake somewhere.
So with Trump skipping the bidding process to save time with a corrupt no-bid emergency contract, he actually caused the pool to be closed, fenced off, and guarded by the National Guard for weeks longer than doing it right ever would have taken.
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser!
And now, Trump has turned his DC U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro into his own personal pool cop for his swampy reflecting pool.
Today, a grand jury has returned a felony indictment against a defendant, David Hearn, for felony destruction of property, for which he faces 10 years in prison. We can state and prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he caused damage, and that damage is over $1,000.
This is a meritless prosecution. We will get into all the details in court. Every American should be concerned about this kind of thing. And of course, as you pointed out, there's no evidence for the things that the president has said. Anderson, is my client responsible for those horrendous algae blooms or creating this perfect storm in the pool or having a composite material that is coming up off the bottom of the pool? Of course not. He's a cyclist.
This is what the Trump administration is focused on right now, arresting and indicting American citizens for touching the reflecting pool, because Donald Trump can't stand losing a war against algae and peeling paint. So naturally, he's taking it out on anyone who points out his failure.
We have the reflecting pond, which we did the best job of all, and they came in with box cutters and they cut it up.
And then somebody's in there with a knife cutting it and ripping the floor out. It's terrible. But the 350-foot gash in the side, it's a terrible thing. And they rip it. These people are sick. They ripped a scar 350 feet long through the side of the reflecting pool.
Back in May, Trump said that you couldn't cut the liner with a knife if you tried.
This will last for at least 50 years, and you'll never have a leak. It's very strong. You couldn't, if you had a knife, I don't want to give anybody ideas. If you had a knife, you can't even cut it. So strong, so powerful. It's like powerful rubber.
Ugh, well, that's awkward. Now, if Jeanine Pirro's track record is anything to go by, this case is toast. I mean, they say that any half-decent prosecutor can indict a ham sandwich, and Pirro couldn't even convict an actual one. Aww. Since taking over as U.S. Attorney for D.C., Pirro has ordered her prosecutors to seek maximum charges on every arrest, and it has backfired spectacularly. Grand juries have refused to indict in at least a dozen cases, judges have dismissed others outright, and juries have acquitted defendants her office swore were guilty. So when Pirro says that she has undeniable, verified proof that someone vandalized the reflecting pool, forgive me if I wait for the actual verdict before I believe her.
According to witnesses, Hearn damaged approximately 2 square feet of sealant from the bottom of the pool. The National Park Service employees observed Hearn actually forcefully and violently pulling up and removing the bottom liner with both hands.
I can't tell if Pirro was trying to kiss Trump's ass or was just drunk when she decided to go after Hearn. Either way, it's giving very desperate, because what Pirro says happened at the reflecting pool is not actually what happened. Let me show you. This is a video of David Hearn allegedly destroying federal property and causing a scene at the reflecting pool. That's it. That's the so-called vandalism. Hearn in a cycling jersey and shorts standing by the reflecting pool. He's not forcefully and violently ripping out 2 square feet of liner like Pirro says, and he's certainly not being rude and disrespectful either, which, by the way, is not a crime. We actually learned that valuable lesson thanks to Trump and his DOJ. They taught us that you can beat a cop half to death, smear your own shit on the walls of the Capitol, and still get a pardon. But stand near a green puddle and touch the lining? No. That's a federal crime.
But this unchecked vandalism and civil disorder turns into criminal behavior, and that's why we're here today. They are an affront to the dignity of our shared history, and we will not allow our sacred monuments to be roped off, defaced, or diminished, or in any way impacted by disgruntled individuals who think that they, and not the rest of the nation, have the right to decide what should happen.
This case is a complete joke. I mean, just listen to this exchange between Pirro and a reporter.
How do you square charging this alleged pool criminal when this is the same Justice Department that
already this is a problem.
Over 1,000 January 6th rioters who caused millions of dollars of damage.
Are you really talking about January 6th?
Yes.
I'm not. Okay, who's next? Not you. No.
The video, proof that the right has been pushing, was filmed by Emily Miller, a former OAN reporter, and in a separate incident, got caught lying about her own home invasion. Oh, and she somehow landed a senior spokesperson job at the FDA in 2020 during a pandemic with zero health or science background. That lasted all of 11 days before she got fired for botching the agency's COVID messaging so badly that even her own boss couldn't defend her. So congrats to Emily Miller. That's a full Scaramucci. Recently, Miller has been seen running around the reflecting pool every single day since its renovation, or rather its destruction, began. She's been playing with the water, running across the pool, and even cosplaying as a contractor spraying liner on the concrete. Gee golly, sure seems like the Trump administration is full of hypocrites when it comes to touching the reflecting pool. pool. So let's be clear about what's actually happening here. The Trump administration's star witness against these vandals is a former OAN reporter with a documented history of embellishing stories for maximum drama, who spent weeks positioning herself at the center of this reflecting pool and who just so happens to be the one filming this arrest. Every move that Trump and his administration have made to fix his mistakes and then cover them up have only made things worse. Now, keep in mind, this is the same reflecting pool that Trump has been bragging about for months, a pool that he said that only he could fix in a couple of weeks for $1.8 million.
Beautiful color, beautiful everything. You could never get anything like that.
We're going to be able to do it for about $1.8 million, 1.8 million, and it's going to take 1 week.
It's going to be something very special, and it's going to be a beautiful color. I'm using swimming pool material. It's going to be blue, beautiful blue, which is what they always wanted.
Everybody's looking at that reflecting pool. They can't believe it. Reflects. We used a dark blue. It's called American flag blue.
And after his paint job took 2 months and cost taxpayers $16.5 million, Trump is now blaming it on, you guessed it, Joe Biden and Barack Obama.
Thanks, Obama.
I'm not joking.
In April, you showed us pictures of what you were going to do at the pool, and you said you had a guy who was going to do it in a week for about $1 million.
Well,
it's been 2 months and $16.5 million.
Okay, ready? Barack Hussein Obama, have you ever heard of him?
Yeah.
Him and Biden together spent $147 million. You know what happened? Never opened.
What is he talking about?
National Guard and police have been all over the mall. How would these vandals have gotten so close to do something like that?
Do you have any proof of this? I mean, we didn't have a lot of them then. Who would think that somebody would go into a pool and take a knife and start cutting it?
I'm starting to think that Trump has zero proof. What's that? There's video footage of more people vandalizing the pool? Well, according to Trump's team, it exists, and they gave it to Jesse Waters to play it on a show.
June 19th, a male, blue shirt, reaches in, stays there for a little while. He goes back down, comes back up multiple times. What's he doing? Then a female, white tote bag. She reaches in, needs a better angle, sets the bag down, dives in a little deeper. And we don't know who these people are. No one was stopped or questioned by police, so no arrests.
Wait, that's the proof. I'm sorry, but this country is such a fucking joke. We are arresting American citizens, one of which is a 3-time U.S. Olympian, all during our country's 250th birthday celebration because they allegedly touched the reflecting pool that Trump broke in the first place. I want to make this very clear for everyone, especially MAGA, who love to attack me with their ad hominem comments. Ad hominem, actually, you know what, doesn't even matter. MAGA can look it up when they learn what a dictionary is. Anyway, like I was saying, the only vandal here is Trump. He's the one who created a problem when there wasn't one. He emptied the pool, had it painted dark blue, which absorbs way more heat and sunlight than the gray concrete would, basically rolling out the red carpet for algae to grow even faster. Then he removed the filter so the water went stagnant and the algae exploded, and tried to fix it by dumping concentrated hydrogen peroxide into the pool to try to kill the bloom that he caused in the first place. So when Trump failed to deliver on the reflecting pool that he bragged about for months, he went looking for a different win, his Great American State Fair, which has been riddled with problems, the biggest one being that MAGA barely even showed up. It looks more like a knockoff Wish.com version of the world's Columbian Exposition. The walls are printed to look 3D, supported up by small wooden stilts, and held together by insulating foam sealant. Also, as someone from the Midwest who lived in Wisconsin, I want to speak to whoever thought this would pass as a state fair.
I've been to state fairs all throughout the United States. This is terrible.
And how so?
It's a program-length advertisement for the president.
Because between the AC units failing in the exhibit tents, the embarrassingly low attendance, the whole thing shutting down midday from the heat, then shutting down again because of storms with the National Guard literally flipping over tables, unsurprisingly, Trump's Great American State Fair turned into the Fire Festival of state fairs. Which tracks because Billy McFarland, the actual conman behind Fire Festival, who went to prison for it, is friends with Trump. Oh, and he also worked on his campaign. And speaking of fraud, Trump's team may have even pulled off some Fire Festival level grifting of their own. A House Democrats report accuses Freedom 250, the group behind Trump's flop of a fair, of misleading donors who wanted to give to the official bipartisan America 250 celebration. Instead, some of them got wire instructions redirecting their money straight into Freedom 250's accounts. Representative Jared Huffman put it bluntly, I do know the elements of fraud, and there is evidence of all those elements here. So at this point, we've got a pattern. The pool's dead, the fair is dead, the ducks are dead, and apparently, so is anyone's donation that accidentally went to the wrong 250. Because, as we all know, everything Trump touches dies. Trump and his party stripped healthcare from millions of Americans and then let Elon and Doge gut USAID, which led to delays and issues with the recent Ebola outbreak.
So for example, with USAID, one of the things we accidentally canceled very briefly was Ebola, Ebola prevention. I think we all want Ebola prevention. So we restored the Ebola prevention immediately, and there was no interruption. But we do need to move quickly if we're to achieve a $1 trillion deficit reduction in financial year 2026.
Yeah, here's the thing. Elon Musk is lying through his teeth. They didn't restore Ebola prevention, and they definitely never got anywhere close to $1 trillion deficit reduction. The Trump GOP has actually added trillions to the deficit, not cut it. Their blood is on Trump's, Elon's, and the GOP's hands. We have actual problems going on in the US right now, and Trump keeps proving that he'd rather fix imaginary problems than deal with real ones like the economy, jobs, housing, or apparently basic water maintenance. Trump's short attention span keeps drifting back to a peeling, algae-choked puddle in the middle of the Lincoln Memorial, a landmark that we all knew that Trump would f up on a monumental level because he's Trump. And that's what he does. The Cultural Landscape Foundation even tried to stop him back in May when they sued him over his plans to paint the reflecting pool blue, and now they're doing a big fat told you so, which, if you haven't noticed, is kinda Trump's whole thing. Destroy what was already there, spend a lot of money making it worse, cause more damage, and then spend even more money trying to fix the mess that he just created. Like illegally naming the Kennedy Center to add his name, demolishing the East Wing to build his $600 million taxpayer-funded ballroom bunker, building his $60 million birthday UFC cage fight, building his East Potomac golf course despite a judge warning against it, and his 250-foot Hitler wannabe Arc de Triomphe, which, as I pointed out a moment ago, the replica is barely being held together, so now scale that up. Americans are struggling to afford basic necessities. We've got high grocery prices because of Trump's tariffs, high gas prices because of Trump's war in Iran, rising inflation, and Trump is out here spending taxpayer money like some brat on MTV's My Super Sweet 16. This guy is even bragging about his signature being on the $100 bill. He doesn't care about you or me or anyone else. He only cares about himself. So when it comes to priorities, this con man is profiting off the presidency on our dime, trading on insider information, manipulating markets, all while raking in over $2.2 billion in his first year back in office.
Every time my kids do, if they invest in a stock or if they go and do a bill, anything they do, because the presidency is so powerful, so big, everything, right. If they buy a cupcake company, well, the energy to make the cupcakes is, sort of like, how's my energy policy? So therefore you have a conflict. Almost anything they do, if they want to buy a truck, if they want to buy, if they buy an energy efficient truck, they have inside information.
This guy is just openly admitting to his family's insider trading, but don't worry, MAGA will find a way to defend how Trump is some great businessman even while he forces them into bankruptcy. Oh, and that whole affordability thing that Trump promised on the campaign trail to deliver for MAGA and America? Yeah, it was a lie. Trump killed a bipartisan housing bill and screwed over families just so he could try to pressure Congress to pass his dangerous voter-suppressing Save America Act.
What are your plans for the housing bill, Mr. President?
I don't know. I think it's so unimportant by compared to the Save America Act. To me, compared to the Save America Act, just about everything is a big yawn. There's so much talk about, we're going to drive housing prices down. I don't want to drive housing prices down. I want to drive housing prices up.
I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody.
Despite what the Republican Party says, this is not governing. This is a petulant child who treats the entire country like his own personal playpen, refusing to let Americans have anything. Cheaper housing, healthcare, basic decency, unless he gets exactly what he wants first. And even then, he'll probably still find a way to f*** you over. And then, when he inevitably screws everything up, he doesn't take any sort of responsibility. He takes down on everyone else, including a 3-time Olympian who did nothing more than touch a green pool that's falling apart thanks to Trump. Thanks so much for watching What Was That? If you enjoyed this story, make sure to check out my Substack at whatwasthat.show to get more episodes and breakdowns. And if you have other ideas for stories that you'd like me to cover, make sure to contact me at any of these platforms at I am Gabe Sanchez. You can also find What Was That on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. I'm Gabe Sanchez, and I'll see you next time on What Was That?